Test, 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 1, 2, testing 1, 2. And then David's on now.
David got mic check 1, 2, 3, 4. We can hear each other.
Yeah, we will.
We will.
Yeah, we're just wearing it until tip-off. On the campus of NJIT in downtown Newark, New Jersey, the Wellness and Events Center tonight welcomes in a neighbor from Brooklyn, New York. That's none other than the LIU Sharks, as the Highlanders, fresh off a big-time win against Wisconsin, look to keep that momentum going here on ESPN. It's the Highlanders with their shield and armor look to avoid a big bite out of the LIU Sharks here tonight. And alongside my partner David Goss, I'm Mike Ventola. So for LIU, a tough loss last night against Pittsburgh, where they're trying to turn things around, whereas NJIT feeling pretty good after that big win against Wisconsin.
You mentioned a historic win for NJIT. So how do you take that momentum, that confidence over into this next game? This should be a must-win game for this Highlanders group. They have to play aggressive offensively once again. And on the flip side for LIU, less than 24 hours after playing in Pittsburgh, they travel back up to the Northeast to play this game. So they have to come out strong. They have to stay close early and not let the tired legs get to them.
And when you take a look at LIU, you've got to keep an eye on Erica Russell, the graduate player. She has led the way for the Sharks.
Yeah, she dominated JUCO basketball. Then she comes into LIU last year and averages a double-double and continuing it this year. A lot of scoring inside the paint, hit shots from the elbow. It's all inside, but she's dominant when she gets the basketball.
And on the other side for NJIT, it is Kenna Squire, who had a big game against Wisconsin.
When she got on campus as a freshman, she looked like a superstar. Struggled a little bit sophomore year as teams keyed on her, but Wisconsin, it was the best Kenna Squire has ever been. Shooting it inside, jump stops in the paint, and then getting rebounds as well. She'll look to continue that again here tonight.
And when you take a look at the breakdown here between Russell and Squire, it's Russell just after 2 games, Squire after 3, but certainly 2 players to keep an eye on here throughout the contest, and both will be a part of the starting lineups here as we get the opportunity to meet our starters. And for our starting lineups, we'll start first with the NJIT Highlanders, a familiar starting 5, Maria Fuchs, Kimmy Evans, of course Kenna Squire, as we talked about, Lizzie Litwinko, and the 5th-year player for NJIT, Ellyn Stoll. They're under the direction of head coach Mike Lane, who's in his 4th season, 15 wins as a head coach here at NJIT, but certainly he has built a strong foundation and looking to see if they can build upon that win at Wisconsin. LIU starting 5, Kiara Bell, Camille Gray, Kennedy Taylor, Brandy Thomas, and Danielle Grimm. This 5, very formidable, got a strong learning experience against Pittsburgh and, of course, at Penn State. And you say Renee Haynes, who was named a head coach at LIU a couple of years ago in her 3rd season, 15 and 34 all-time, a graduate of Michigan State, was also an assistant head coach at Western Michigan and as well as an assistant at Duke. Well, for LIU, back after a long road trip, same with NJIT. And Highlanders happy to be home as we are officially underway. It's LIU. Danielle Grimm, the freshman out of Columbus, Ohio, gets the opening tip, and the Sharks look to swim early here at the WEC.
And we mentioned it for LIU. Less than 24 hours after playing at Pitt, you drive back up to Newark, stay in a hotel, come to this game. They arrived actually a few minutes late. And so you're hoping the adrenaline of all of that is what they use to come out to a fast start, because at some point your legs are going to get tired. NJIT coming off a nice rest, coming off a big win. They've got depth as well this year in their roster with 15 returning players and 2 big-time freshmen. So for LIU, that's got to be a first quarter that they win.
As Ellyn Stoll takes it towards the glass and it tips in, so the Highlanders take a 2-0 lead here to start early. But Sharks fans know that LIU, of course, they are tall, they are physical. LIU plays good, strong defense, and that's how they generate their offense, as NJIT will look to try to be prepared against the height of this Sharks basketball team. Little fade away and a miss by Kiara Bell. Bell tries again. And another rebound for LIU.
And you mentioned for LIU, that tenacity that they have. Offensive boards are going to be a big advantage for them. NJIT struggles to rebound. They struggle to box out consistently.
Brandy Thomas, the senior out of Baldwin, New York, commits the travel. And the first few minutes, this first quarter is going to be a true telltale sign. David, will there be a hangover after a big win for NJIT at Wisconsin? And LIU, as you talked about, trying to bounce back after a tough go of it yesterday at Pitt. Stoll shoots for 3, yes! It's a 5-0 run to begin this game.
Ellyn Stoll, all 5 points. I love that she took it inside on the first possession. She shot a lot of threes. She's a great three-point shooter, but you have to use the three sometimes to open up the inside of the court for you, but then she fires it when she breaks the press there. Really good possession for NJIT.
Now to the corner, Grimm. A miss there, and it'll be Kenna Squire.
And after 2 offensive rebounds the first possession, good box outs across the board for NJIT.
Evans, line of work inside, commits the travel. Good defense there by Kiara Bell. A 6'1" forward out of Santa Rosa, California. Her and Evans will be busy one-on-one together all night.
What's fun about this matchup, we saw with Wagner as well for NJIT in the last game, so many players that grew up playing against each other. You look at Kiara Bell and Kimmy Evans, both New Jersey high school players, played at a high level, so a lot of players with familiarity, which breeds contempt sometimes, but breeds really good rivalries in action.
Good long look. A miss there, as coming up empty was none other than Kiara Bell. Couple of defensive moments here for LIU, but that will free space up as LIU loves to press. Squire plants her feet, and it's a 7-0 run for NJIT.
That's Kenna Squire's best move when she uses all the momentum of the defender, comes to a hard stop. She's able to set herself so quickly and still keep her mechanics for her jumper.
LIU needs to get points very soon. Kennedy Taylor. As now here's Bell. Bell drives, uses the glass. Coming down with it was Gray. Gray able to get up underneath. And it's knocked out of bounds. It'll still be LIU possession. LIU has had the looks, David, but right now 0 for 8 from the field. They need to get more efficient here very quickly.
And the star player we highlighted coming in, Erica Russell, starting this game on the bench. We mentioned short turnaround. So this LIU coaching staff is going to want to manage minutes across the board, but you cannot wait to get Russell in the game right now. Trailing 7-0. You mentioned LIU, they've had some decent looks. They're going to get offensive rebounds as well, but they got to continue to work inside.
Trying to put it up for 3 was Danielle Grimm, and there's a foul inside. And there is Erica Russell, the graduate forward out of Brooklyn. Her presence is strong, makes it happen here. She goes and shoots some free throws.
And we talked about her in the open. She does all her work inside the perimeter, chasing down boards, post-ups. She's able to turn and face up defenders as well and take on bigs, especially to the hole. So back on the court early here after not getting it started. Not surprised to see Coach Lane bring Trinity Williams in so quick, just a freshman, but she has shown her athletic ability as a big to help defend inside and out, help rebound as well.
Well, the press here for LIU, but it was Maria Fuchs who had committed the foul, and why she is out of the game. Nice bounce pass as Trinity Williams has it smacked out of her hands, but still good idea by NJIT. You see Coach Haynes, though, trying to stay poised, of course, just allowing her team to figure things out, only trailing by 5.
And we talked a little about Coach Haynes, her pedigree, top notch. All Big Ten as a player, played pro and won some championships overseas in Europe. Comes back, assistant coach at some major programs, including at Duke for 5 years. And then has come to LIU and has started to build this program. COVID throwing a real wrench into everything that LIU was building towards as they looked like they were on their way to an NEC tournament bid 2 years ago. And then, of course, last year, how tough the schedule was. But you like to see so far for Coach Haynes to come out aggressive. Full court press every possession. And while NJIT has broken it a couple times, you just need minor adjustments, but you don't want to move away from your philosophy and the speed you want the game to be played at too quickly.
Kimmy Evans shooting around 66% from the free throw line coming into tonight. That foul, by the way, was by Brandy Thomas, Baldwin, New York native. And it's a 7-point lead here for the Highlanders. Russell again, and over the top as Evans commits the foul. Kiara Bell was positioned quite well, but for Evans, that's going to be her first, team second.
And for NJIT, you have to box out early. You have to know where your man is and be ready to put your lower body in. And there you see Kimmy Evans using her arms to box out rather than using her lower body.
Brandy Thomas with the miss, as LIU has not been afraid to shoot from three-point range. Now, it was Danielle Grimm 0 for 2 so far, but actually that shot was registered as a long 2, so LIU 0 for 11 from the field here so far.
It's been a tough start for LIU. We mentioned everything they're going up against, but they're chasing those offensive boards, so they're going to keep getting continuous looks, multiple looks per possession.
Lizzie Litwinko still has yet to take a shot. That one smacked away. Nice job there by Bell.
That lob pass is so key to NJIT's offense when it's flowing at its best.
Russell couldn't hold on after the dribble. So for LIU, continuing their struggles here on the offensive side of the floor, but they've been able to have some good moments defensively. And there will be a foul there committed by Kennedy Taylor, the redshirt junior out of Columbus, Ohio.
Litwinko got lucky there because she stepped into the trap to allow Russell to double onto her with the basketball. And Taylor getting called for the foul before that, but Russell's wingspan, her athleticism, she is a huge threat when she comes off the inbounder.
Shyla Sanford, senior out of Latham, New York, into the contest.
Litwinko handling that much better. Gets to the middle of the court. It's the safest spot to break a press.
Baseline, coming up empty for Squire. But at some point, LIU, they are going to need to get some points. There are only 2 points coming from the free throw line by Erica Russell. Ellyn Stoll 5 of the 9 for NJIT. Russell takes it and gets fouled in the process. Trinity Williams, the freshman, commits the foul. The Upper Black Eddy, Pennsylvania native.
And Williams has to understand, Russell has shot 1 3-pointer all year. You don't have to come out that hard on that closeout. Be ready for the drive.
We'll step aside. NJIT leads by 7 here on ESPN.
At NJIT, you can become a trailblazer, a visionary, or the next great leader. As a top-ranked public research university, you will be immersed in an innovative environment that promotes cutting-edge research. Classes taught by expert professors, and graduate with the technology skills needed to excel in the most in-demand careers. Your future starts here. New Jersey Institute of Technology. Are you ready to join us?
There are program-defining moments, and it came this past Sunday in Wisconsin as NJIT, with a 61-49 win over Wisconsin. Head coach Mike Lane and his team celebrating the first ever win against a Big Ten opponent. Kenna Squire, Ellyn Stoll leading the way for NJIT. See Sydney Hilliard with 18 points for Wisconsin, but a huge victory on the road, especially after suffering a tough loss against Marquette, but riding the momentum after that win against Wisconsin.
And for NJIT, sometimes you go, you're hitting shots, a game's easy. That wasn't really the case against Wisconsin. Every time NJIT made a run, the Badgers would make a run back. And so NJIT, they showed their fortitude to be able to continue to stay in the game, to fight back, to keep the crowd out of it, to continue to fight. And then in the fourth quarter, where NJIT struggled at home against Wagner, they dominated and they were able to knock off Wisconsin. You said it, historic moment. Coach Lane's comments afterwards is, this is something that you take forever. And these players will remember this for the rest of their lives. And for NJIT, you know it's just the start. Under Coach Lane, he finally gets a full recruiting class in, and he's NJIT's ready to continue to build from here.
And this is an area that they're still looking to learn, beating the press. Teams will consistently press, but able to break it there. Squire rushing that shot as Russell gets the rebound.
And that's part of the press for LIU is you rush NJIT into their offense. And so there will be times where Kenneth Squire, Ellyn Stoll, and Litwinko will have to realize we need to pull it out and run our normal sets. Just because we break the press and maybe have an advantage here or there, we don't have to take an early shot every time.
Floating one up was Zoe Hachi. And it's going to be NJIT possession. Zoe, a native of France, a sophomore guard, getting her first look into the contest. But once again, LIU still looking for their first points from the field. Erica Russell with all 3 points from the free throw line. NJIT 3 of 5 shooting so far.
Amaya O'Brien coming on for LIU as well. Won NEC Rookie of the Week, week 1 of this season. So a promising young player from Detroit, which is Renee Haynes' backyard where she grew up, starting to pull players from the Midwest.
Tara Iki as well on the floor for LIU, and a half-court violation. That's what LIU does, and Erica Russell, the fifth-year player for LIU, trying to get her team going here a little bit. Even as hot as NJIT came out of the gate, a 7-0 run, they've been dormant now here for the past couple of minutes.
You got to tip your cap to Renee Haynes in that. Her team comes out with the press. NJIT breaks it a couple times fairly easily, but she doesn't go away from what they've worked on, from what their fundamentals are, and now it's starting to pay dividends.
See now if NJIT can answer, but the defense for LIU has been really good. Knocked out of bounds, and it is going to be Hachi, the sophomore again, just getting her hands on the basketball, and it's almost like that they just...
Take a look at the bench for LIU. They are feeding on this defense, and that's what this team is. Full court press, man-to-man press defense all across the front court, chasing down offensive rebounds. This is a team that's going to fight, and that's what the NEC requires.
Kendall Dalrymple in for NJIT. She is a three-point threat. Stole from the corner. A little too strong as Russell lost the basketball. Kimmy Evans is there to pick up the trash.
Just a mental mistake there from Russell. It was good movement from NJIT to find Stoll wide open. Obviously overshoots it, and then Evans able to stick with the play.
LIU's physical as there is an offensive foul to charge there by Hachi. And LIU, too, look at the NEC. LIU, they were a preseason 9 out of 10 selection. As we take a look at this previous play, and David, you said it. Russell, a little too eager there as Evans was there to pick things up.
Over jumps it, but Evans able to stay poised once she gets the basketball. Now NJIT starting to dip into their bench, and this should be an advantage in this game. That's a huge block there.
A jump ball, it's gonna stay for NJIT, but Tara Iki, the freshman from Madrid, Spain, she had her hands on the basketball, but the officials decide to go with jump ball here as we take a look at it here.
She almost catches the shot from Dalrymple. What extension there on that block. But as I was saying, for these two teams, NJIT, 15 returning players, a ton of depth this year, and you're not the one coming off a game 24 hours ago. So as this game goes along, the bench should be an advantage for NJIT, but they still have to play well.
A little over 3 minutes remaining, a new shot clock. Kiana Brereton, and she gets rejected by Iki. Outstanding defense here by LIU. Using the glass, wonderful presence there for Tara Iki, the freshman. Gets their first points from the field. A hard collision there as Stoll goes to the ground. And a little slow getting up here was none other than Zoe Hachi.
But I love that recognition from Russell. Ike just gave you 2 huge defensive plays. A freshman, feed her, give her an opportunity to make a play on offense, keep that momentum, and she's got a size advantage in Ike there, rips through to her right hand and able to finish through contact.
Samantha Schultz now into the game for NJIT, a senior out of Kings Park, New York. Trinity Williams shoots for 3, off the mark. And how about Lizzie Litwinko absolutely ripping the basketball out of her hands, but still a jump ball. But still, you gotta like that out of Litwinko.
She averages 6 rebounds a game as a point guard. She was America East all-rookie team last year, and this was a large reason why. She is fearless as a guard. She lives inside amongst the trees, and she's never too scared to get involved.
There's Russell now. EK. And a steal. Kendall Dow. The intended. Works inside to Schultz. Out to Litwinko. 4-3. Coming up empty. Litwinko comes in with the left hand. Are you kidding me? Job well done there by Litwinko.
Just put me on loop. I don't even need to be here. Litwinko again. Inside, getting the rebound. Follows her own shot. And a great start here for the Highlanders.
O'Brien, bang! What a good-looking three-point shot there from O'Brien.
You win Rookie of the Week your first day on campus. It's never a bad way to start your career.
Winko goes across to Dalrymple. They still want to work Williams inside, but now Williams commits the travel. And Trinity so far trying to find her footing here in this early portion of the contest. A minute 24 remaining in the opening quarter as Kitty Evans comes back in.
And we saw Renee Haynes there, and she has to love what she's seen from her team. Just scrappy, sticking with their game plan, and they are putting a tempo to this game that they want. They want it to be up-tempo, they want it to be physical, they want it to be an intense game, and so far they've been able to set that.
Trying to wear NJIT down. Good-looking jump shot. Coming up empty there was Thomas. Evans gets the rebound. Reach-in foul by Thomas.
That's good recognition from Stoll. If a team is extending their defense and playing up against you, it is tough to be able to track players that are driving. And so if you're aggressive off your catch, if you rip through hard, which is something that Mike Lane's staff and NJIT always talks about and works on, there will be opportunities to draw fouls, get to the free throw line.
So Ellyn Stoll so far leading the way. She has 6 points, 2 of 3 from the field, but she was certainly one of 2 players that had a big day on Sunday against the Badgers, going 5 of 13 from the field, but 4 of 9 from three-point range as Kenna Squire comes in.
Squire, a long rest here in this first quarter. Can she help NJIT finish strong?
And with no fouls committed, Coach Lane wanting to keep her rested. And now a blocking foul. They get Litwinko. You saw Maya Whiteside, the freshman out of Denver, Colorado. And she's going to go to the free throw line here, shooting 2.
You've seen Coach Haynes talking to her players in breaks about this offense, and that was the best possession of the game so far for LIU. They were able to spread the court and then find cutters where they predetermined them, and that's where you get a situation where Litwinko has to protect the rim as a point guard.
Well, LIU is hitting free throws. They're 4 of 5. It's allowed them to help their offense get generated a little bit. Now they got 5 of 6, 83%.
It's a make or miss sport, but there's a few categories that you can always say which team wins. And turnovers, offensive rebounds, free throws, those are those categories. And LIU, they're not hitting shots, but right now they are winning the battle in every single one of those categories otherwise.
Kennedy Taylor commits the foul, and David, you couldn't be more correct. Just out-rebounding NJIT right now. Both teams, though, with 4 turnovers each. As we see now, Danielle Grimm, the freshman, checks back into the game as Kendall Dalrymple will shoot some free throws.
Well, one of the big things basketball coaches will talk to you about is live turnovers versus dead balls. And for LIU, the turnovers are steals that are able to then get you into the front court, get you towards the basket, where for NJIT so far, they've mainly been balls getting knocked out, jump balls, stuff like that. And so that's where for LIU, the turnovers are so much more important even than for an average team.
Rolling it in after the rebound, and a jump ball. It's going to go towards NJIT after the second missed free throw attempt by Dalrymple. But at least for the moment, another possession here for NJIT, as we'll see Grace Plummer check in, a three-point threat out of West Des Moines, Iowa.
Yeah, Plummer, a big game against Wisconsin. She has been really efficient with her scoring so far this season.
Still some time on the shot clock, but LIU, they can be ferocious defensively. Inside, Evans gets around, in and out, nothing there. Evans picks it up and gets it to drop. Count it.
Evans showing you why she is the starting center for NJIT. Able to, with 5 or 6 players around her, get that rebound.
Sanford puts it up too high off the backboard. A 7-point lead for NJIT as we go into quarter number 2 right here on ESPN.
Hey fans, let's welcome to the floor for the first time tonight.
At NJIT, you can become a trailblazer, a visionary, or the next great leader. As a top-ranked public research university, you will be immersed in an innovative environment that promotes cutting-edge research. Classes taught by expert professors, and graduate with the technology skills needed to excel in the most in-demand careers. Your future starts here. New Jersey Institute of Technology. Are you ready to join us?
The first quarter, David, was certainly physical, but it's been an entertaining contest here so far.
The LIU came out and they showed who they were. They tried to get the ball inside. They had a 1-3 here from the freshman in O'Brien, who's been phenomenal at the beginning of her career. They went with the full court press, but NJIT, they were able to maintain their momentum offensively. It was a 7-0 run to start the game. Kimmy Evans has been a presence inside, and Coach Lane has used almost his full bench to start the game here. So it's been interesting to see for an NJIT team that's had more rest. They're also spreading out the minutes early on.
Alongside David Goss, Mike Ventola with you as you take a look at Kimmy Evans. She has made her presence known. The 4 rebounds, that's what Coach Lane likes to see, and hopefully adding to that total, but being able to do her part offensively. But it is Ellyn Stoll leading all scorers with 7 right now. At a 7-point lead here inside the WEC. Just the second home game for NJIT this season after a lengthy road trip at Marquette and at Wisconsin. And for LIU Brooklyn, still trying to play their first home game. They opened up at Penn State last night against Pittsburgh, and now here at NJIT.
It's a tough schedule to start for LIU. Not just the back-to-back games, but obviously you're playing a Big Ten and an ACC opponent to start the season. Now you come and play a tough NJIT team, but you know why you're doing it, because the NEC is a tough conference. It's going to be some really tough games. We saw Wagner already this season here at the WEC. They look like another physical, grinded out, strong basketball team with senior leadership. So you want these experiences going on for you later on.
Kiara Bell commits the foul. Erica Russell's back in for LIU. Plummer for 3. Whistle sounds. They're saying Plummer had stepped on the end line.
Plummer getting the opportunity coming in late in this first quarter. These are unique rotations right now for Coach Lane. He's kind of mixing and matching some players we haven't seen together before. So it'll be interesting to see not just how they work together, but the key right now is breaking the press, and that's something NJIT hasn't seen a ton of, and so not everyone maybe knows their assignments at all times.
LIU, a bank shot there for Maya Whiteside.
Right now, LIU just finding offense where they can. Whiteside, one of the many freshmen getting a ton of playing time on this team.
Just a 5-point lead for the Highlanders. Schultz now works inside, gets through a couple defenders and lays it in.
Coach Lane will love to see that possession. LIU switches into a 1-3-1 matchup zone, and NJIT, patient, finds the hole in the zone.
As Erica Russell gets fouled in the process, Evans now with her second personal. Would not be surprised if Coach Lane takes her out of the game and gets her to sit for a bit. Right on cue, here comes Trinity Williams. The freshman getting a lot of playing time.
Earned playing time too. She has been phenomenal since she started 3 games ago. She is so athletic for someone her size, and you see the touch on her shot. She didn't hit that first 3, but it's a pure jumper, and for a center to be able to shoot it that way, a freshman as well. We've seen her free throws. She's been extremely accurate from the line. She's gotten to the line a ton as well, which is really positive to see for a freshman, and so she has a lot to her game. There's a lot to be excited about. I think she can be an effective piece this year, but a player you can build around going forward.
Erica Russell hitting both free throw attempts. She has been really good. As Schultz now goes across the way to Plummer. And NJIT just continuing to pass, move things around. A lot of roadblocks here by LIU. Double dribble as Litwinko knew it. And a turnover by the Highlanders as the Sharks continuing to hang around.
Kenna Squire just pulling the freshman Williams over there and walking her through what they're seeing defensively from LIU. Said it was a 2-on-2 zone, and I think they clearly have their triggers of what you want to do after that, but sometimes tough for young players to recognize on the fly what they're seeing.
Well, Williams able to help get that rebound. Squire now trying to work inside. Falls over. Litwinko was there to help her out, but picking things up now with Sanford. Up top, O'Brien. And they're going to call a foul. Looks like it's going to be against Russell. Looks like she may have kind of jumped on top. That's going to be her first personal foul.
And the team's second.
Take a look at it here again. And
it's a tough call there for Russell. Of course, Williams has position, but I don't know that Russell really comes over the back. But it's something that Russell's going to have to be careful about because they cannot afford to have her in foul trouble throughout this game.
Squire had some space. Will dribble, goes a little too high. There is Schultz, though, to pick her up after the missed shot attempt. And Samantha Schultz, by the way, now with 4 points.
When you get in the teeth of the defense, good things happen, even if it's not your own shot. There's just so much size on this LIU team. You know, you see the dominant play in the first quarter from Tara Ecke, and then Bell comes in now, Russell's in, there's just no rest.
LIU now 2 of 4 from the field, compared to 2 of 16 in quarter number 1. Trying to go inside was Litwinko, and another takeaway. Here is Danielle Grimm.
Been really impressed by Grimm, a freshman starting at point guard.
What a block there by Williams. And now she commits the foul as Kiara Bell is going to head to the free throw line.
And look over to the coaching staff after that from Williams saying, I got one block, I got to go for the second one. What a dominant block we have seen. Freshmen on both sides with some huge blocks here in this first half. I've really been impressed by the play of Grimm. The poise, strong handles, which allows her to pick her head up and see the whole floor. And just a freshman, she'll learn how to manipulate the court a little bit more as her time goes along, but great lob pass there across the court.
For Kiara Bell. With 3 points, 1 of 6 from the field so far, hitting first and only free throw. misses her second. Schultz getting the rebound, and for Samantha Schultz now with 2 rebounds off the bench. Here's Maddie Martin.
LIU back to their aggressive man-to-man defense.
See that aggressive defense. Not too many lanes for NJIT. They're going to have to make a play, and they get O'Brien. How about Ellyn Stoll? That's some senior leadership there, just knowing where she's got to be as the freshman O'Brien commits the foul.
Yeah, Stoll has now done that twice as the clock's winding down. An aggressive drive, but ball screen's not a huge part of NJIT's game, but if there is that aggressive defense out around the perimeter, it can help free a teammate up every once in a while if a big comes, sets a screen for a guard.
Schultz puts it up. Miss there as Grace Plummer comes down with it.
And this is what NJIT was doing in the first quarter.
In and out. There to pick her up, though, was Schultz. Comes up empty as Bell gets the rebound.
But NJIT was scrambling on defense in the first quarter. LIU getting a ton of offensive rebounds. Now swapped here in this second quarter.
Under 5.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Just a 4-point lead. Ball is bounced around. Russell falls as Maria Fuchs comes up with it.
This is one of the advantages of getting out to a hot start. NJIT, LIU both struggling from the field right now, but you already have a lead to play with if you're the Highlanders at home.
Stoll tries to get a little help from the glass, and it will be LIU possession right after this timeout. NJIT holding on to a 4-point lead as we'll be back here from the WEC.
It's the t-shirt toss. So get up and stand up and be loud.
At NJIT, you can become a trailblazer, a visionary, or the next great leader. As a top-ranked public research university, you will be immersed in an innovative environment that promotes cutting-edge research. Classes taught by expert professors, and graduate with the technology skills needed to excel in the most in-demand careers. Your future starts here. New Jersey Institute of Technology. Are you ready to join us?
NJIT is 5-3 all-time against LIU. Of course, the LIU Sharks, formerly known as the LIU Brooklyn Blackbirds. And last time these two teams met was back in December of 2018, where Tatiana Torres scored 21 points, leading NJIT to a 72-51 win. Kelly Garino hitting three-point shots. Ellyn Stoll was a part of that, as well as you look at some of the matchups over the years. And LIU last won back in 2017 here in Newark by a score of 67-49.
And when you talk to both these coaching staffs and a few in the area, there's been a specific purpose of scheduling, NYC tri-state area teams against each other. And so NJIT playing Wagner in their last game. They'll play St. Peter's, St. Francis Brooklyn, and then, of course, for LIU coming here to play NJIT, they go up and play Manhattan College in their next game as well. And I really like that because there's so much talent in this area, and you want to be able to test yourself against each other so that players can see you more and more players want to come and are familiar with your programs. And so I love that idea of you can get great high-level competition. You don't have to fly across the country.
Kennedy Taylor committing her third personal foul, and you're going to be facing a lot of players that are similar in style and Northeast mentality. Anna Brereton looking for a little help. This one's knocked away. Fuchs able to pick it back up. Plummer from the corner. And the rebound is Thomas. With Maddie Martin to beat. Good defense. Knocked out of bounds. NJIT possession here.
Good work from Martin to get down the floor quickly to get position early. But that offensive possession, we've now seen 2 straight possessions where NJIT players try and take Russell off the dribble. If there's anyone on LIU, you're avoiding doing that. It's Russell, 6'2", length, athleticism. She's the player that you want to avoid driving against.
Just see the height. Multiple players over 6 feet tall. And a travel there by Stoll. She thought she got rid of it in time, but she gets called with the travel here as LIU still down 2 possessions. NJIT 2 of 9 shooting from the field compared to LIU 2 of 8, and that's just here in the second quarter for both teams. Pull-up jumper.
But if you're LIU, you're shooting 16% from the field, playing a back-to-back, and you're only down 4 points with a few minutes left in this first half. So you have to like what you've seen, because at some point either shots are going to fall, you're not going to win, but you're doing everything else right now to be able to get a win on the road.
I mean, NJIT is cold right now, and they may even be putting it lightly. Now they're going to call a foul. Looks like Fuchs commits the foul there on Erica Russell, as Russell a little slow getting up. As Kenna Squire will come in.
And again, the offensive glass for LIU, a factor, and even if they're not able to get the rebound, forcing NJIT into fouls, always an advantage, especially for a team in LIU that's shooting 8 of 10 from the free throw line, and you've got 3 team fouls now on NJIT. If you continue to be aggressive, maybe you could steal a couple points late in this half.
Sanford, line drive looking layup. Russell now turns and spins. Able to get it back. Good give inside. Kiana Brereton is there, and Brereton able to physically outdo her opponent. Knocked out of bounds. And it just seems like right now offensively, David, is NJIT, a lot of passing out around the arc. They can't get as inside as much as they did in the first quarter. LIU's really been able to close those driving lanes.
Yeah, LIU, they've sort of dialed back their pressure on the outside of the perimeter. And as you said, they've closed those driving lanes. But if you're Kenna Squire, you got to recognize that. In the first quarter, you were getting the basketball and someone was right on top of you. Now you can catch it and actually shoot that 3 if you want to. And Squire's had 2 or 3 open looks that she sort of passed up here. And if you're NJIT, you just got to move it quickly and that shot will come.
Grace Plummer now has not had her normal look. A travel by Tara Ike. As NJIT 1 of 9 shooting from 3-point range, LIU 1 of 4 3-point shots have not been popular here tonight. As we'll now see Reese Vaughn in, the other freshman for NJIT out of Enwell, New York.
I like what I've seen from Vaughn so far. She's aggressive, she catches it, she's ready to go to the hoop. She seems to be a good inside-out player.
Litwinko gets a little bit of an open look, can't hit the layup. And now a foul, and now for Lizzie Litwinko, just 2 points to show for it.
Litwinko, she made the right play. LIU starting to jump passing lanes. She uses the ball fake. She gets the defense shifted, gets into the lane and just can't finish with a number of players around her, and then gets called for a little bit of a soft foul there on the offensive rebound attempt.
Whiteside in for LIU. For three, and it's a one-point game. Shyla Sanford out of Latham, New York.
LIU gets the lead to 21-20.
A team with a ton of freshmen getting minutes. The senior stepping up there. Sanford with the three, and as we've talked about, LIU hanging around, doing the little things right to stick in this game.
A lot of momentum and excitement coming from that LIU bench. Rolls it into Litwinko. Over to Stoll, puts it up, way off the mark, and LIU's got a chance to take a lead here with 1:23 to go. All the momentum right now for the Sharks.
And right now, the way LIU is playing defense, they are dictating where NJIT gets their shots, where they're finding openings, and so they are the ones who are controlling the tempo and the pace of this game.
Foul, it's going to be against LIU.
A little bit lucky there for the Highlanders. You got Russell wide open in that little short corner. She just didn't get her wrist right on that jumper, and then you draw the offensive foul or the loose ball foul, and it takes you to the line. But LIU, what a performance from them. Less than 24 hours after losing by almost 40 points at Pittsburgh. And they come to NJIT, and they have battled through this first half.
So Brereton able to at least make one free throw attempt, a one possession game, as Reese Vaughn comes down with the rebound. Squire. Brereton, and without question, easily commits the travel. She had looked as if she was going to commit the shoot, thought twice about it, and commits the travel.
That is all down to the LIU defense, making Brereton think twice, attacking the closeouts consistently, and just making life tough for NJIT. NJIT has to find a way to get back to their first half offense, or their first quarter offense, sorry.
Behind the back, here's Grimm, short. Ball pops out. Forcing it up, nothing there. Squire comes down with it.
Squire should pull it out for the last shot.
Instead, Ellyn Stoll, as she gets fouled. And that's where Ellyn Stoll, now you talked about earlier with the ball screens, getting LIU to commit fouls, able to do so here now. But sometimes you need your experienced players to step up, and Ellyn's been able to do so here for NJIT.
And Stoll, she has understood what the defense has been giving her, and she has drove to the basket more in this game than she has done the entire season, where she's taken most of her shots from behind the three-point line. So she is one of the players that's recognizing the flow of this game and where there are opportunities. And that's what NJIT did well in the first quarter, was taking the shots that they had, Squire getting to the hole, breaking the press. Now LIU has taken the press off, but there's still opportunity if you move the basketball quickly to work through this defense and get to the hole rather than taking long contested threes.
10 seconds, they go to Russell. Like the move, off the glass, nothing there. Ball's loose, picked up by Stoll, and she will just hold on as NJIT holds on to a 4-0 lead into halftime, 24-20 over LIU. What we're going to hear from head coach Mike Lane on NJIT's win over Wisconsin, plus as well too with Kenneth Squire. Highlights, stats, all that and more will come your way here in just a few moments here on ESPN.
At NJIT, you can become a trailblazer, a visionary, or the next great leader. As a top-ranked public research university, you will be immersed in an innovative environment that promotes cutting-edge research. Classes taught by expert professors and graduate with the technology skills needed to excel in the most in-demand careers. Your future starts here. New Jersey Institute of Technology. Are you ready to join us?
Hey there, Highlander fans. We're inside the Wellness and Events Center here at halftime on ESPN+. This past Sunday, the NJIT women's basketball team went to Madison, Wisconsin, and got a huge victory over the Wisconsin Badgers, 61-49. Their first ever win over a Big Ten program. I'm joined by the head coach, Mike Lane. And Coach, congratulations again on the enormous win on the road against a team in Wisconsin from a major conference. What have the last 72 hours been like for you after that win?
It's been unbelievable. Obviously, the number of people that have reached out has been just crazy. After the game, your phone's just blowing up and you can't get to it. And I thought that was one of the kind of nicer moments right after the game. Obviously, we celebrated on the court. We celebrated in the locker room. Then you're kind of packing up your stuff, and then we all got on the bus, and I felt like there was this time of just reflect, like everybody was quiet on the bus, and you wouldn't maybe think that with, like everybody thinks the bus is going to be like a loud party, but I think everybody was catching up to all those messages from their family and their friends and people back here on campus. So it was just really nice to do something that people recognized, and then that they actually reached out to you and offered their congratulations. It was really nice. What
were some of the more memorable messages that you got on your phone?
Well, just from former players, former coaches. So I used to be a Division III head coach out in Chicago, and so we used to travel into Wisconsin. That was always like a really tough road trip back then. I actually had one of our former players was behind our bench during the Wisconsin game. So, that whole group reaching out, and like I said, just like friends in the industry, other coaches, current assistants, current head coaches, conference, in the America East Conference, head coaches reaching out, and just, just that they took the time to kind of recognize our win. It was just really special for all of us.
And it was the fourth quarter that made the difference. You were down 45-43, and then you outscore Wisconsin 18-8 in the fourth quarter to take that victory home with you. What changed in that fourth quarter? What was the message to the team going into that period?
We got to bottle that somehow and feed it every game. That was an amazing run. It's the best, maybe we've looked here. But it was just the confidence. I thought we had gained confidence throughout the game. We were winning at the end of the first quarter. We were winning at halftime. We were winning at the end of the third. So when we took that punch, when Wisconsin hit those two buckets to take the lead, it was really just to kind of regroup, like, hey, we've been the better team most of the game here. Let's just kind of do our thing, trust what we do. And, then Ellyn hit a shot that I think just kind of got the whole bench going. Then she hit the next one. Then Kimmy got a bucket, then Kenna gets a bucket, then Grace gets a three, then Lizzie got a late bucket against the shot clock. It's just everything, when you get into that zone, it's a great feeling. And so hopefully we can relive that again.
Hopefully so. Congratulations again, Coach Lane, on the big victory, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks.
Back with more at halftime on ESPN+.
At NJIT, you can become a trailblazer, a visionary, or the next great leader. As a top-ranked public research university, you will be immersed in an innovative environment that promotes cutting-edge research. Classes taught by expert professors, and graduate with the technology skills needed to excel in the most in-demand careers. Your future starts here. New Jersey Institute of Technology. Are you ready to join us?
Once again, hi there, Highlander fans. We are back here at halftime at the WEC on ESPN+. Jason Garrett joined by NJIT junior guard Kenna Squire. And Kenna, you got a huge win over Wisconsin this past Sunday, the first ever win for NJIT over a Big Ten program, a big fourth quarter to get that win in the bin and be able to bring it home with you. What have the last 72 hours been like for you as a player coming off of that high from the win?
They've just been absolutely amazing. I mean, the support that we've gotten from all our friends and family, as well as other athletes from NJIT in those past 72 hours have been just completely awesome.
What were some of the messages that you got on your phone after that game?
Well, the first ones were, of course, my family, like, freaking out, just congratulating me and saying how proud they were. And then, you know, the social media things started to pour in, and it was you know, my friends who were just super excited, reposting things. So it's just really amazing to see that support.
And you had a big game as well, 14 points, and contributed a lot of big plays in the win over Wisconsin. How were you able to keep focused until the final buzzer, because you entered the fourth quarter trailing and then surged ahead in the fourth?
I think a really big part of it was how Coach Lane broke it down. He kind of said to us, starting each quarter, the next media timeout, you know, we want to be at this point, and then we would get to that media timeout, and he would kind of just break down each quarter into little sections, and that kind of helped us keep focused. And we didn't see the game as a whole, we just saw it as winning small portions, which kind of added up to the whole win.
Was there a point in that game where you looked at yourself, looked at the score perhaps, and said, hey, we can hang with these guys?
Yeah, definitely. The first couple minutes, we were, I think we were up at that point, and we kind of looked at the score and we were like, you know, guys, like, we got this, we can do this. And then being up 1 at halftime, we kind of came together in the locker room and we said to each other, we've proved to ourselves now that we can play with them, and let's just finish it out and get the win.
Kind of congratulations so much on the win over Wisconsin, a huge win for the program and for yourself and your teammates as well. And we'll talk to you soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
Back with more after this halftime here at the WEC on ESPN+.
At NJIT, you can become a trailblazer, a visionary, or the next great leader. As a top-ranked public research university, you will be immersed in an innovative environment that promotes cutting-edge research. Classes taught by expert professors, and graduate with the technology skills needed to excel in the most in-demand careers. Your future starts here. New Jersey Institute of Technology. Are you ready to join us?
Well, for the NJIT Highlanders with a 4-point lead, but it's been physical through one half of play.
LIU came out not able to hit shots, but they were able to hang in the game. They were able to fight on the offensive glass. They get this big three from O'Brien, and LIU, they have stuck in this game with their defense and their rebounding. And then in the second quarter, the shots started to fall a little bit for them, but everything's happening inside the perimeter on the LIU side of the basketball. NJIT on the flip side, they came out flying offensively. They broke the press. They were able to create opportunities in transition, and that opened up the three-point shot. That opened up the court a little bit to create some more opportunities. But Mike, we saw NJIT go away from that too much in the second quarter. Lizzie Litwinko able to use that space to get some offensive rebounds. Kimmy Evans as well, but we want to see that more for the Highlanders here in this second half.
Well, for NJIT and LIU, certainly going to set up a very exciting second half. You take a look at the numbers here right now, though. The field goal percentage, not as strong as both teams would hope, but the rebounds are there. Three-point shooting, something NJIT hoping to get better on, but their points in the paint has been able to stand out. And for NJIT looking to build upon that, LIU wants to get more active in the paint. It's a big part of what they do offensively. So, NJIT and LIU. Second half action comes away in just a few moments here on ESPN.
At NJIT, you can become a trailblazer, a visionary, or the next great leader. As a top-ranked public research university, you will be immersed in an innovative environment that promotes cutting-edge research. Classes taught by expert professors, and graduate with the technology skills needed to excel in the most in-demand careers. Your future starts here. New Jersey Institute of Technology. Are you ready to join us?
Rebounding has been a focus here tonight, but it's also been a focus for NJIT this season, David, in large part because of two guards in Kenneth Squire and Lizzie Litwinko.
And these guards, they read the play so well. They understand when the bigs box out that any loose ball can be theirs inside the perimeter, and Litwinko especially, averaging over 6 rebounds a game last year, 5-time America East Rookie of the Week. And that was a huge reason why, because of her ability to affect the game both with the basketball in her hand, but also on the boards.
He's David Goss. I'm Mike Ventola. Hope all of you are enjoying your week and, of course, getting ready for the Thanksgiving holiday, which, hard to believe, is a week from tonight.
Isn't it January still?
I mean, I know, right? At least it kind of feels like it, though today felt like summer with over 60 degrees here in Newark and the surrounding areas here in the tri-state area. So, but it's been great having fans back inside the WEC, and I'm sure not only for NJIT, but even for LIU, who has still yet to play a home game. I'm sure they're excited for their first home game of the season, but at least to go from arena to arena to seeing fans back in attendance. And the third quarter is underway. Let's see how both teams are able to adjust. I'm sure lots was said between head coach Mike Lane and Rini Haynes of LIU.
For NJIT, it's talking about moving the basketball, being aggressive off the catch, but immediately the LIU defense making a difference once again.
A miss there by LIU. Sanford able to slow things down. LIU now, after getting an early steal. Looks to strike first here in the second half.
And for LIU, I don't know that you're trying to change a ton from the first half.
Turnover.
That half went the way you wanted it to. It was played at your tempo. For example, NJIT scored 60 points against Wisconsin, and LIU scored 48 in their last game against Pitt. So 20-24 at halftime, that's an LIU basketball game. So they've done the things they want to do. You always want to hit more shots if you can, but overall, this has been the game that the Sharks want.
Yeah, LIU averaging 53.5 points per game so far. Just through 2 games, but NJIT 56. See how aggressive LIU is. And Lewinko gets called with the travel. She's had that call on her quite a bit here this season. Head coach Mike Lane discussing with her from the sideline.
And that's a travel is normally when a player is either overthinking, and so they're not natural and comfortable in their motion, or they're unprepared to get the basketball. Lizzie Lewinko, not unprepared. So that means that she's overthinking her decision rather than just catching it in rotation and being ready to drive.
There's a foul underneath the basket. And Erica Russell stands out on top.
That's the second loose ball foul called against Fuchs on Russell. And Russell just working so hard as she rolls off that screen. I'm not sure Fuchs did a ton there. Looks like Russell kind of got her body low and Fuchs went over her, but again, LIU's relentless nature on the offensive glass making a difference.
Up top. Yes! Brandy Thomas. And it's a 1-point game.
Thomas shot at 33% from three-point last year, over 11 points a game. That's one of the players you expect more offensively from. That's a good start to the second half.
Stoll gets fouled right around the baseline, but one thing that has got to be concerning, especially if you're an NJIT fan, is that everything, or I shouldn't say everything, but a lot of things that went positive in the first quarter has gone away. Credit LIU being able to adjust defensively and has made things much more difficult now for NJIT to generate any sort of offensive push.
Yeah, LIU, you see how aggressively they're trapping. Squire thought she was going to get an open three in the corner. She bobbles the ball for a second, and there's 2 defenders right on top of her. NJIT, though, not able to move the basketball quick enough to find Stoll open on the other side. Every half second, you know, every long pass you throw, every hitch in your movement, that allows LIU to recover, and that's going to make it harder to find offense. And NJIT in that first quarter, it was flowing. They knew exactly what they wanted to do with the basketball. They were quick about it, and now LIU has condensed the court and made NJIT think more.
For those of you watching, thought you would see a lot more offense. Both teams coming in after physical games. Offensive foul as Kiara Bell, she did not ring the right bell in that sequence, committing the foul. It's NJIT basketball.
Squire reading that from the backside. That's just smart defense. Steps in the way, and Bell doesn't even see Squire there yet. But Squire reading the play on the roll, comes off her man, and able to draw the foul. That is a high-level, high basketball IQ play.
One thing, too, that's allowed LIU to come back into this game, only 8 turnovers to this point. Litwinko up high, and coming down with it was Grimm.
And Litwinko, I mentioned, did almost everything well in her freshman year, but struggled from the three-point line. That's not a part of her game.
Baseline. Nicely put in by Whiteside. Back to a 1-point game.
Whiteside, one of 4 freshmen that's played heavy minutes here in this game. Had the size advantage. Took her a while to realize it, and then finally hits that jumper.
Nice bounce pass. Trinity Williams a little too much. Out of bounds. It'll be LIU possession.
And Squire now has been moved to the free throw line in the center of this zone to be that zone breaker. And she recognizes there the zone collapse on her. It's a Nice bounce pass to Williams. Williams, a freshman, though, has to be ready to gather, catch, and go up quicker.
How about LIU able to take a lead? Shyla Sanford. And remember, NJIT opened up this game with a 7-0 run.
Sanford hit a big three in the first half. It felt like a moment that really made LIU believe they could stay in this game. That's a big shot as well.
Taking it away is Bell. Bell with only Litwinko to beat. And in a 4-0 swing now is LIU up by 3.
Bell had runners with her. She said, I don't need help. Goes to the hole, finishes on the left side, but with the right hand.
Stoll off the mark. Williams as she gets fouled. And that'll help NJIT for the moment. Maya Whiteside commits the foul. That's going to be her second. As Martin and Plummer come in for NJIT. EK, Taylor, and O'Brien for LIU.
Bell coming off the floor. She led this momentum charge here over these last few minutes with the 2 personal fouls, trying to rotate her out.
And a travel there as Evans tried to get a little cute there.
And that just needs a power dribble from Kimmy Evans. Hit that hard dribble to allow you to pivot off your left foot and then get to the basket.
It has been a 9-2 run overall for LIU for the last 4 minutes and 15 seconds. Contested shot. Russell's there and one.
You see for LIU, knowing who they are, it continues to work for them. They have not shot a ton of threes in this game. That isn't their game. Kennedy Taylor fights to get inside, and then everyone is crashing the offensive glass. And Russell, so talented that when she comes down with that board, she has the footwork to be able to get back up to finish through contact.
Since the first quarter when NJIT led 17-10, LIU outscoring NJIT 22-9.
That 17 points in the first quarter. NJIT's only scored 9 since then. So this game has really slowed down. LIU stuck to their guns. They've been flying around on defense, and it's been a factor.
Stoll misses. Evans able to fight for the rebound, and Kimmy Evans with a crucial 2 points.
If NJIT, you have to understand, if LIU is extending their defense, if they're doubling and closing out on shooters, that there will be offensive rebounds if you attack on the interior.
With 5 minutes remaining in the third quarter, O'Brien's
going to be a big piece this year for LIU. She has some nuance and guile to her offensive game that no one else on this roster possesses.
NJIT, they want to work inside. They finally do to Schultz. As Martin from the corner, in and out. Russell comes up with it.
There's a good look from Martin. She comes off that wing, slowly floating to the corner to get that closer 3-point attempt.
Nice job there by Squire, hits off her hands. We were 4 minutes and 12 seconds. LIU leading NJIT 34-28. The Sharks swimming smoothly here in the second half as we'll be back here on ESPN.
At NJIT, you can become a trailblazer, a visionary, or the next great leader. As a top-ranked public research university, you will be immersed in an innovative environment that promotes cutting-edge research. Classes taught by expert professors, and graduate with the technology skills needed to excel in the most in-demand careers. Your future starts here. New Jersey Institute of Technology. Are you ready to join us?
Trinity Williams, the first-year player for NJIT. She's had a good start to the year.
Her first game out the gate, and you saw running the floor here, but the athleticism to be able to stop, have the footwork to go up and finish. She blocks shots, the drive from the perimeter here as well, and this stroke on this three-point shot. This is what could make her lethal as she gets comfortable at the college basketball level. Just a freshman, that was her first game ever, and you're playing a high-intensity physical defense in Wagner, and you put up 13 points, and Trinity Williams has only gone from strength to strength since then.
Still plenty of time left in this game. If you're NJIT, but for LIU, you have got to be feeling so good right now. Up by 6, a chance to extend this potentially to a 9-point lead if you were to hit a 3 here, but for the NJIT that needs to make a play defensively, that hits off O'Brien's foot. A turnover by LIU. It's just their 9th of the game so far.
And LIU, not a high-scoring team, so NJIT will be in this game, but they have to find their offense over the course of this third quarter. The basketball has to move quicker for them around the perimeter.
This is where NJIT has historically gotten to trouble when they've held onto the ball way too long. Working inside to Williams. Stayed patient there as Trinity Williams makes it count.
And when Kenna Squire catches on that free throw line, the whole defense collapses to her. And that's the first time, or really the only time, NJIT can get LIU out of position defensively. And good work from Martin to recognize that on that play.
Missed three-point attempt there by Russell.
It's just not LIU's game to shoot it from 3, although they are shooting it better than NJIT in this game, in fairness.
Yeah, they're 3 of 9, NJIT 1 of 14.
This is what it was against Wagner in the first game for NJIT. They only shot at 2 of 17 from 3.
Knocked out of the hands, but it seems like right now they're trying to utilize the freshman here.
Yeah, LIU, that defense extended, taking away three-point shots. That means Williams is going to have one-on-one opportunities. And what you've seen so far in her young career, she's athletic enough to take most bigs off the dribble.
A pass that wasn't warranted. Nice job by LIU, though, to scoop it up. O'Brien from the corner. Who's going to come down with it? Out of bounds. Officials talking things over. It'll be LIU possession.
O'Brien clattered through by Martin on the release for that corner 3. No call, though. The referee right on top of it. And now our official talking to the LIU bench a little bit.
Not sure if they were a little too close to the floor there, but
Bell, she really set the tone in this third quarter, coming back on the floor now. This is the first time she'll play with Russell in the second half.
It's a long 2 attempt. Coming up with it. LIU here is O'Brien now. Contested. Trying to save it. Squire Taylor with her long arms at times, able to bring him in. She gets fouled from behind, committed there by Kennedy Taylor, the redshirt junior out of Columbus.
You can even see in a turnover, Bell not quitting on that play, trying to make something happen off the offensive glass, and that's just in their DNA right now. And these upperclassmen really teaching these freshmen how they play.
Now, NJIT wanting to work inside. It'll be Stoll for 3. Yes!
That's the exact setup you want. That's the triangle right there. You've got Williams down on the low post. You've got Squire on the high post and Stoll outside. The second that Stoll's defender comes to help a little, Squire knows she can hit Stoll, and the key there, you want to hit your teammate in the pocket. Make it as easy as possible for Stoll to catch and fire.
Nice look inside. Losing the basketball, though, was Kennedy Taylor. LIU had the right idea, just couldn't hold on to the basketball. Kenna Squire goes coast to coast, and NJIT now on a 7-0 run.
And this is what we talked about in the first half with live turnovers. NJIT, they get a steal. That means Squire can make a play happen in transition. The defense is scrambling, and LIU, not a high-scoring team, as we've said. They have dominated the last quarter and a half, but NJIT up 1 point.
A 7-0 run for NJIT, with they having a 1-point lead, 35-34. As we take a look, it's Kenna Squire getting the lead back for the Highlanders right here on ESPN.
At NJIT, you can become a trailblazer, a visionary, or the next great leader. As a top-ranked public research university, you will be immersed in an innovative environment that promotes cutting-edge research. Classes taught by expert professors, and graduate with the technology skills needed to excel in the most in-demand careers. Your future starts here. New Jersey Institute of Technology. Are you ready to join us?
Back here inside the WEC, NJIT holding on to a 1-point lead right now, 35-34. As you take a look at our leading scorers for tonight, Ellyn Stoll leading the way, not just for NJIT, but for both teams. But even despite Erica Russell-David with 8 points, but her presence has been known for the Sharks.
Russell's been the star for LIU, but for Stoll, what you love to see is those 6 free throws. And she has been one of the best three-point shooters in NJIT history over the course of her career. But tonight, those shots haven't been there. And while she just hit a 3 and she can make it, she has taken what the defense has given her. She's gotten inside, gotten fouled, gotten to the free throw line, and scored some really big baskets for the Highlanders.
Let's see if LIU now can bounce back after what's been a nice run here for the Highlanders. LIU's been scoreless over their last 3.5 minutes. Sanford, she's been a presence though on LIU's most recent resurgence. Good fadeaway shot, in and out. Chiara Bell though had a good look, just couldn't get it to fall.
Yeah, Bell though falling away. She hasn't taken her last 2 shots going towards the basket, which is what gave her her success in the early part of this third quarter.
NJIT looking to extend, but you just see the LIU Sharks just clogging up the inside. Rolling back in towards Williams, hits off the hands. Looks like that got off the hands of Maya Whiteside. But with just 2 seconds on the shot clock, it's got to be pass and shoot.
Coach Lane, a little bit of a different look there, swapping Williams and Squire into the high post, low post as the basketball goes side to side. So something to watch out for in the fourth quarter.
Puts it up, Squire, short. It'll be a shot clock violation.
Shot clock violation. Turnover to the Sharks.
Head coach Mike Lane expressing his frustration a little bit, but now LIU, will they look to hold for the final shot of the third quarter? Seconds. Whiteside puts it up. Knocked around. NJIT gets the rebound, and they're able to take the lead into the final quarter of play. 35-34. NJIT leads over LIU, as we'll be back here on ESPN.
At NJIT, you can become a trailblazer, a visionary, or the next great leader. As a top-ranked public research university, you will be immersed in an innovative environment that promotes cutting-edge research. Classes taught by expert professors, and graduate with the technology skills needed to excel in the most in-demand careers. Your future starts here. New Jersey Institute of Technology. Are you ready to join us?
Entering the final quarter of the play, and we got a tight one here at the West.
And Bell inspiring LIU out of the halftime locker room, getting some big baskets, and then LIU started to get it rolling. They extended their lead to 6 points in that third quarter, but then Kenneth Squire goes into the middle of that zone, starts dictating a little bit. First she finds Stoll for the three, then she gets to the hole herself to get NJIT back in front. Now, Mike, we came into this game talking about LIU. Less than 24 hours after playing at Pitt, they came here to play this game. If they are going to show tired legs, it's going to come in this fourth quarter. But for NJIT, you don't want to give up turnovers. You don't want to foul unnecessarily. You want to make this as tough as you can for LIU to have to grind this out.
And a first turnover here in the fourth quarter is by the LIU Sharks. He's David Goss. I'm Mike Ventola. Sharks fans, Highlander fans, and college basketball fans all alike. Hope all of you enjoying this physical contest between two teams here in the Northeast that are on the rise. NJIT, they're trying to find ways to shoot. Williams from the corner, off the rim. She is not afraid to shoot that three-point shot.
It's such a smooth stroke for her. And with her height, it's almost unblockable the way she gets that high arcing shot away. Lizzie Litwinko and Kimmy Evans sat the final 5 minutes of that third quarter. They are both up at the scorer's table now.
In and around, LIU retakes the lead. Kiara Bell.
I mentioned, will there be that fatigue for LIU? Coach Haynes has nailed her rotation so far, and this team is playing phenomenal basketball through three quarters.
Fuchs. Stoll's gonna try again. Yes! She's feeling it. 17 now for the graduate.
And that is when you're getting a good three-point look. In rotation, you catch it, you feel good about the shot, and you're able to pull it up. Put it up. What an offensive game for Ellyn Stoll. Inside and out, she has done it all for NJIT.
A good answer here for LIU, tying things up.
Russell versus Stoll. Stoll 3, Russell assist. This has been fun to watch from the grad students.
Great poise by Ellyn. Instead of looking to shoot for three, let's give it to her teammate, Kenneth Squire.
And the defense knows she's a shooter. They close out. You're right. She gets in the lane and finds Squire.
That's a selfless act. Nice job by Bell. And a foul committed there by Williams, and for Trinity, it's going to be just her second personal foul.
And Williams there trying to front up now, which isn't the wrong idea, but it was a perfect pass over the hand of Williams. It is the 1 in 6 that's going to beat you on that pass. And once Bell is behind Williams, not much Williams can do, but besides a little bit of contact.
Kiara Bell, a 42% free throw shooter, entering tonight.
One more.
But now you're getting into, I want to say, full-blown trading baskets here, but we are seeing a little bit more of offensive juice out of both of these teams here in the start of this quarter.
Yeah, I think maybe these defenses starting to tire a little, both of them, a little bit more space to operate. That backdoor cut for LIU on the last possession hadn't really existed much this game. NJIT finding a little bit more space on the perimeter as well, as LIU now goes back into man-to-man.
Going to Evans. Evans knocks it out. Smart play to Squire. And a blocking foul by LIU. And it's committed by Bell.
And I thought Squire was going to shoot that three off the catch, but she's been fairly focused this game on trying to get to the hole. And if you're Bell as a big trying to defend against a guard outside, you're hoping you're closer to that end line, able to use that baseline as that second defender, and Bell couldn't get her foot down quick enough.
Seconds on the shot clock. Kimmy Evans is there, a little too strong by the center.
And it was the look that NJIT wanted. Evans, though, just unprepared when she gets that ball thrown to her.
Wide open, Erica Russell.
And I don't know why I'm talking about fatigue. Russell looks like she could play for the next 48 hours and still be ready to go.
Her adrenaline must be pumping. One possession game. Squire puts it up, makes it look easy. Dennis Squire now with 8 points.
She has such good body control. Defenders aren't able to stop at the same speed as her, and then they assume she's going to lean forward with that shot. And so the defenders step back a little bit, and that gives her the wide open look.
And stepping out of bounds was Danielle Grimm. I was about to say, it didn't look like she traveled, but she did step just out of play.
And you see that a lot for freshman players.
Yeah.
Of when the speed of the game changes, the athleticism at that college basketball level, just trying to steal that half inch if they can, and not really understanding the spacing, obviously, the lighting, the arenas, everything's so different at the NCAA level.
Under 6 minutes remaining. Foul there will be by Shyla Sanford.
That might be one of the first ball screens we've seen.
I was about to say,
I
don't think we've seen too many of these.
It's not really a part of NJIT's offense because they don't want to bring a second defender to come and help. They want to space the floor out as much as they can, and whenever a double comes, that's what they're trying to pass out of the paint. But Coach Lane trying to help his point guard get some open looks here. A double screen.
A little. Kimmy Evans receives it, uses the glass.
Textbook high-low basketball. The double screens there. Evans rolls off the initial screen, but rather than force the pass from Litwinko, she gives it to Fuchs. A fantastic possession for NJIT.
Timeout on the floor. So take a look at it here again. Kimmy Evans gives NJIT a 2-point lead as we'll step aside right here on ESPN.
It's time to see upcoming events in Highland.
At NJIT, you can become a trailblazer, a visionary, or the next great leader. As a top-ranked public research university, you will be immersed in an innovative environment that promotes cutting-edge research. Classes taught by expert professors, and graduate with the technology skills needed to excel in the most in-demand careers. Your future starts here. New Jersey Institute of Technology. Are you ready to join us?
Rennie White for NJIT men's soccer. He is currently the leading active player in career goals and points. America East first team selection, all academic team selection. Just an unbelievable talent, David, and certainly one that many NJIT men's soccer fans will remember because he certainly set this program in a very strong way. Once again, all district first team selection.
That little Cruyff turn back to the left-footed finish. I see you, Rennie White. That's a baller finish right there. That's what you want from your captain. So respect to Rennie White for a fantastic career with the Highlanders, and good luck at the next stages.
11 goals, which is tops in America East, tied for 10th in the nation, David, and 26 points overall, tied for 12th in the nation, top in the America East. We may be talking about him at the next level one day. Touched last off of Litwinko.
And the men's soccer program for NJIT has helped lead the charge, won the A-Sun, the only team sport to win an A-Sun championship. And you look at, men's basketball beating Michigan a few years ago, and the women's basketball now beating Wisconsin this week. And the whole program, I think everyone feeds off each other.
Barboto has done a tremendous job with that program as Kimmy Evans commits the foul for Kimmy. That is going to be her 4th personal foul, David, but for head coach Mike Laney, may just have to keep her in at this point.
And he's got Trinity Williams, who he trusts, although Williams getting up off the bench, so there you go.
Too soon.
But I sort of agree with you. It's a tight game. Williams, whether she plays now or at the end, she's going to have to play if Evans is in foul trouble. Why not try and extend your lead a little bit?
Looks like they're now going to get Candace Squire now with a foul. That's her 2nd personal.
And you don't want to give away silly team fouls to a team like LIU, who struggles to shoot the basketball but has been phenomenal from the free throw line.
Well, a takeaway here, which helps out the home team, but for LIU, they have to go back to what they're good at, and that's playing defense.
And they've switched back into the man-to-man, and still helping on everything, closing out everything with 2 players.
Ball is loose, scooped up by Thomas. Here is Russell, always dangerous. Now Thomas for 3, bang!
2 for 2 from 3 for Thomas. Both of them in this second half. That's what you're looking for from your senior leaders.
1-point game. Squire getting around Russell, but it looks like Russell commits the foul. That's just her 2nd personal foul.
And Squire, she uses that ball screen. She sees Russell close her out. A little hesitation move to get Russell back up on her toes rather than able to take the charge, and then drops her shoulder and gets by.
How about Trinity Williams? Went with the fake, kept it herself.
Williams has such a high level of understanding of the speed of play and everything that's happening in just her 4th career college basketball game.
You don't see that too often. Nice little dribble drive there.
And in the 2nd quarter and 3rd quarter, it was no one can hit. And now every time one team makes a big shot, the other team comes back with a make.
Williams able to use her height to advantage, gets around a little too strong. Rebound by Thomas. With LIU holding on to this 1-point lead. Just throwing it up. Fuchs gets the rebound.
Yeah, Russell thought she was going to get the call there.
Taken away. Off-balance pass. Unprecedented by NJIT.
Yeah, Squire now 31 minutes played in this game. Stoll 33, and I think you're seeing a couple moments of fatigue on the NJIT side, where we thought it might be there for LIU.
And now Brandy Thomas is red hot. As LIU now leads by 3.
And Thomas averaged 11.5 points per game last year, 37% from the field, so she's capable of carrying this team offensively.
And LIU's feeling good. Head coach Mike Lane calls a timeout here. It'll be a full timeout. So for NJIT, they've got work to do here as they are only trailing by 3 points, but it has been moments in this game where those behind feels like it's NJIT how they had just a few short minutes ago when they had the lead against LIU.
Well, it looks like Coach Lane's going to bring Kimmy Evans back in here as he had her check to the scorer's table, and they've been able to play through her, whether it's been against man-to-man or zone. She has a good understanding of where the game is moving, where the holes in the defense are, to be able to catch, and then she can finish high all over anyone. So you expect either to see those ball screens that we saw to try and open her up a little bit early in this fourth quarter, or to try and establish her down on the post, either high or low post, to play through her as a passer. And if you can get LIU to double a little bit, you want to see Squire, Stoll, and Winko. You want to see them cutting off the basketball, not waiting at all times. You want to see them recognize when help defense comes that there's opportunities to get to the hole.
So now with play set to resume, LIU currently right now they are 6 for 7 from field goal range in their last 7 shot attempts. So pretty impressive by the Sharks. Still some time, a 1-possession game.
Well defended this time from LIU.
LIU's doing a tremendous job. Over to Stoll. Ellyn puts it up off the glass, nothing there. And a rebound here by LIU.
And LIU recognized that same set, and they were able to defend on Kimmy Evans on both Fuchs' attempt to get the entry pass as well as Stoll's.
Travel there by Russell. It just seems like right now, too, that I'm not sure if it's just set up that way, but Maria Fuchs has had some looks not shooting the basketball, but obviously that's because of the plays being put in by head coach Mike Lane. But at some point, it's just been Squire, Evans, and Stoll here as Litwinko now commits a foul, charging right into Kennedy Taylor.
And that play was made because Taylor and Grimm did not allow NJIT to have an easy handoff. And so Litwinko gets called for the contact on Taylor as she hands it off. But the average player just allows that play to happen defensively and moves on to the next moment. And this LIU team has grinded every little part of this game out.
It's a big possession. Offensive foul.
Illegal screen there from Bell as Grimm tried to use her for a second screen, didn't allow Bell time to set herself. And that's one of those moments where a big gets called for the foul, but the guard is at fault.
Right now for Taylor and Thomas with 4 fouls each. Let's see if NJIT can make something happen. Stoll. Fuchs for 3, well short. As Evans knocks it over to Stoll.
It didn't hit the rim though.
Stoll puts it up. This game's tied. Huge 3-point shot for Ellyn Stoll.
The grad student Ellyn Stoll carrying, willing her team to victory. And we are under a minute left with a tie game.
Thomas, who's been lethal this quarter. Fans getting loud here inside the WEC. Thomas pulls up. Knocked around, new shot clock, new set of life here for the Sharks.
And LIU had a mismatch. They had Litwinko on Russell for a second. Weren't quick about using it.
Here's Danielle Grimm. Grimm floats one up. Rebound by Evans. And it looks like a timeout's going to be called by head coach Mike Lane and NJIT. Shot clock goes away. 16.2 seconds. And it just seems so fitting that it may come down to the wire here in Newark.
And it's what we expected. This LIU, they like to keep the score low, which means neither team ever got too far ahead. NJIT got a 7-point lead, and then LIU chipped away. LIU gets a 6-point lead in the second half, and NJIT chipped away. It's really been basket to basket most of this game. Now you've got 16 seconds left for NJIT. I think one thing is you don't want to go too late. You don't want to start going with 4 seconds left and have to throw up a bad shot. And I think while Ellyn Stoll has been phenomenal in this game, you want her spacing as a shooter or as a cutter off the ball. And so I think it's either Kenna Squire or Litwinko with the basketball in their hands. Maybe you try that double screen with Kimmy Evans and Fuchs at the top first and see, can you get Stoll open on the wing for an open 3?
Play set to resume. It'll be Kenna Squire for NJIT who will inbound. And got to be able to successfully get the inbound in. They do. Floating it up. Out of bounds, no foul call, still NJIT possession with 5 seconds.
What a defensive play by Bell. She comes out, closes down Litwinko. Litwinko tries to float this pass over the top. It's almost perfect, and Bell does enough to get a hand on it and push it out.
A timeout on the floor. It'll still be NJIT possession.
What a play, but I love the play call from Coach Lane. You've got Evans, who's comfortable as a roller, who you know can attract defenders, because if she rolls and everyone comes to help, that means you've got Stoll or Squire or Fuchs outside who can hit a 3. And so I like trusting Litwinko with the basketball in her hands there, and I like that screen. Now only 5 seconds left here. So you'd expect to see a couple of screens for whoever's going to catch the basketball. You'd expect either Squire or Stoll to start on the far side of the court, come through a couple of screens preset, and see if you can get a catch and shoot.
Well, that's pretty much what it's going to come down to for NJIT, is a catch and shoot. And for LIU, you're thinking, okay, if they were able to get a turnover, would there be enough for them to put up a last-second shot? Theoretically, but you're looking at potential. If you're LIU, you may are looking to play for overtime here at this point, because 5 seconds is just maybe not nearly enough time. But credit to head coach Renee Haynes and this LIU squad, after a gut-wrenching game yesterday, put themselves in position here, especially after falling out of the gate 7-0, to have this game tied. And
it's been an unbelievable performance.
Really has been.
They have dictated the way this game's been played. What I love from Coach Haynes has been her rotation. So you're able to keep all of her players fresh after that game. Russell's the only player who's played over 30 minutes in this game, and you've gotten a ton of minutes from freshmen, but it hasn't been 3 freshmen out there by themselves figuring it out. Russell starts on the bench, and you're able to platoon her with Bell, with Thomas, with your experienced players in Kennedy Taylor, and the way Coach Haynes has gone about this game, and you've just seen the energy on the bench, her interactions with her players, how much LIU believes in playing for her, and how this team's really starting to come together.
Well, it just seemed like the officials wanted to go back to the replay and figure out exactly where the inbound will come. Also, too, time is being added, so 5.9 seconds as we had one of the officials come over.
Yeah, so checking to make sure it wasn't a foul. They confirmed the call. It is NJIT possession. They've added 0.9 seconds to the shot, to the clock.
So now could potentially change things a bit, maybe for an extra step or two. And we'll see now as Litwinko gets it in. Squire turns around, short. And it is going to be jump ball, and it's going to be NJIT possession, as for whatever reason, Kiara Bell comes down with it. And now head coach Mike Lane will take a 30-second timeout.
And I like that play call again for Coach Lane. They have Kimmy Evans right there for the dump-off pass off the inbound. A ton of attention, all of it going to the right side of the court. And then Squire tries to go in for that backdoor cut. She had an open look here, but with a ton of pressure around her. And what we've talked about all game is she's so good normally at setting herself and going up cleanly, even when she's moving, but she's falling away a little bit there. She doesn't want her shot to get blocked. She knows how much pressure Bell can put on her, and so she falls back and she fronts that shot off the front rim. And what else but Lizzie Litwinko getting in for an offensive rebound and forcing that jump ball.
So it looks that the time is good here, and now for NJIT it's going to be a quick inbound, catch and shoot at this point. And if miraculously they can get a shot to drop, we are staring at overtime.
You have enough time to catch and shoot. You don't have to get it off. It doesn't have to be a tip-in.
Knocked away, picked up by Danielle Grimm, and we have to head over to overtime.
I think LIU tried to get a timeout in before the buzzer went off. The refs are talking about it now. What a performance here for Danielle Grimm, a freshman out of Columbus, Ohio. She had the basketball in her hands to try and win it on one side, and then she's able to make the defensive play on the other side. And I think LIU is going to get some time here. It looked like she called for the timeout, and the referee on that end line was able to give it to her before the buzzer went, but at most, you're looking at 0.9 seconds.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you're without question, you'd be under a full second here, and that's what the officials are looking at. But you're looking at some of the numbers here right now. Eerily similar across the board, though turnovers. LIU winning that battle.
And it looks like for LIU, they're going to try and put all their size out there on the floor to try and get an opportunity at this last shot. So now the referees are indicating that we're headed to overtime.
That's 5 minutes up on the game clock. And with that, NJIT, as they and LIU now will talk things over here, and now kind of what's been happened to this point, not that you totally want to forget about it, but you essentially start 0-0 here now. Let's see how for both teams in their first overtime games, but once again, LIU, physical games at Penn State, Pittsburgh, NJIT, challenging game at home to start the year, go on the road, at Marquette, at Wisconsin. These two teams are leaving it all out on the floor here tonight.
I cannot believe LIU is going to play 5 more minutes of basketball here, but they have not slowed down at any point in this game, so I think we should stop questioning them and thinking that they will. Something to look out for here is 4 personal fouls, Taylor, 4 personal fouls for Brandy Thomas on the side for LIU, and then Kimmy Evans, 4 personal fouls for NJIT. We saw her have to come out for a stretch of that end of that fourth quarter, so something to keep your eye on.
Well, once again, the officials coming over and just saying it was 0-0s at the end, though. They just wanted for us to let the viewing audience know that even though there was a timeout attempt at that point, zeros were on the game clock. So, look, overtime. This is first time here this season for both teams, and
you'd expect a game that goes similar to what we've seen. The two teams have started to find their feet offensively in the fourth quarter. It was the highest scoring quarter of the game for both sides. But this is going to be a hard-nosed, physical overtime period. And what a game coming here for Ellyn Stoll. 36 minutes played, 20 points for this NJIT team.
Real quickly, Thomas, Taylor for LIU, and Evans for NJIT, all with 4 personal fouls. And only Evans is on the floor. Correction, and Taylor. And Evans gets the rebound.
There's a good drive from Taylor, and she initiates the contact with Litwinko to give herself some space to finish with. Just too much momentum. It comes too hard off the glass.
Now you would have to think whatever little adrenaline is left over takes precedent. 8 seconds on the shot clock, mid-range jumper, and that is Kenneth Squire's game.
That's that jump stop we're talking about for Squire, and she has really looked off the 3-point shot all game to get herself into the paint. Only 1 attempt.
Great execution there by Shyla Sanford.
And LIU has used some really good team movement to get those backdoor cuts here in this second half.
Floating it into Maria Fuchs, and Fuchs finally gets her first 2 points here tonight.
At first it was Fuchs to Evans, and LIU got smart on that, and they were able to cut that off. So NJIT reverses it, Evans into Fuchs, and Fuchs, great footwork to finish.
Good look here by Bell. Empty. Bounce around, Litwinkle comes up with it. They have a player
5-on-3 right now.
Over to Stoll, wide open, bang! Ellyn Stoll with a huge three-point shot. She's got 23 here tonight. Timeout taken by Reedy Haynes as the senior from Point Pleasant, New Jersey, with her 5th three-point shot of the game.
Bell, in trying to save that basketball, went down off to our left and wasn't able to get back up, limping off. So we'll see if she'll be able to continue. Taylor falling over as well in the collision with Squire, who did so well to get the basketball back for NJIT. And then Litwinko, recognizing the moment, gets into the middle of the lane. The 3 defenders left collapse, sees Ellyn Stoll wide open, and that's as good as a layup tonight for Ellyn Stoll. She is bombs away from behind the 3-point line.
Well, NJIT right now leading by 5 here with 2 minutes and 53 seconds to go in overtime. But for LIU, look, they've been down by 5 points already. This is nothing new for them. Still plenty of time, and they don't really need to change much here if you're the Sharks. It's just because they just need to, if anything, just get some shots to the ball. They've had some looks here already here in overtime.
Yeah, you don't love seeing Bell shoot that 3-pointer there. It's not her game, and it hasn't really been a focus for LIU in this game. And so you want to see them continue to try and work the basketball down low. I think if you could potentially find some touches here for Russell to go one-on-one with Fuchs off the dribble, or Bell one-on-one with Evans, that could be successful.
Erica Russell, so good.
As I said, give her the basketball, space things out a little bit for her. Fuchs and Evans can't move their feet as quickly as Russell can. She really is a wing in a forward's body.
In towards Evans, catch and shoot. It does not fall in.
That thing was 3/4 of the way down before it rolled back out. You have to like what you're seeing from Maria Fuchs so far in this game. Early in her career, she was firing shots up early in the shot clock, sometimes forcing it a little bit, and they're so quick to find the pass to Evans.
It almost looked as if the reason why it didn't go in was because none other than Jaws itself knocking into the Orca here. I mean, it's like, that's what we've been looking at here tonight.
Evans missing both free throws, and Squire sneaking in for the offensive rebound. It's not a mistake we've really seen LIU make so far tonight.
Lindsay Litwinko, she is denied. Kiara Bell. As Trinity Williams will come in. And Kimmy Evans is going to take a seat, but taking a look at it here again. I mean, Litwinko found the lane, but my goodness, Kiara Bell.
And you gotta love life as a guard like Kennedy Taylor when you know you've got that help on the backside and you can be aggressive defensively because you know if you get beat that the shot blockers are coming.
Squire lost it, but shot clock violation. Under 2 minutes to go.
It makes sense for Coach Lane to try and steal a minute here for Kimmy Evans to sit, not pick up that 5th personal, and have her for the final minute where in the end of regulation, you ran a lot of your offense through her.
It's an important possession for LIU, and that's not the result they wanted.
And one of the things we've seen for both teams here is they don't run a lot of ball screens, so they're unfamiliar with how to use it. For NJIT, they don't come off the shoulder as the ball handler, and so it's been fairly ineffective. Most times it's been set for LIU. They go too quickly. They don't allow the big to set their feet before the guard tries to come off.
Squire through a couple defenders, kicks it out. Inside to Trinity Williams, lost it. Able to recompose herself. Wow. Well, NJIT's got to get a shot off. Lewinko, and with a little bit of an extra pass.
Lewinko only 2 points tonight. She has done a lot of other things well, but it comes a point where as the point guard,
yes,
you got to take shots. The ball's in your hand, 5 seconds left. You got to attempt that floater. You had separation. You had an open three-point look earlier in that possession as well, at least just to keep the defense honest, because that pass, while it was dangerous, doesn't work because the defense can sag off you.
Dancing inside, Kiara Bell puts it up. Williams comes down with it, and she gets fouled by Sanford. That's Shyla Sanford's second personal foul with under a minute to go. Shooting free throws here will be NJIT.
If NJIT can knock down free throws, which Evans was not able to do a minute ago, a decent chance they could see out this game.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. Remember, NJIT 64% tonight from the free throw line. LIU 84%. It's been night and day.
Basically kept LIU in this game in the first half.
Yes.
Was the free throws. And not just their ability to knock them down, but also to continue to get to the line and be aggressive offensively. Then they started to hit shots as the second half started. Brandy Thomas got them hot, got them going. Bell as well following up, but it was the free throw line that kept LIU alive.
Well, at least Williams makes one, so if you're an NJIT fan, you're thinking, okay, for the moment, it's a two-possession game. But LIU, they need to start making baskets. They're 2 of 5 so far here from the field in this overtime period. Bell can't hit the fadeaway. Fuchs gets the rebound.
And Williams can stay with Bell off the dribble in a way that Fuchs and Evans just haven't been able to so far in this game. Lewinko needs help.
And Lewinko just gets it over to Stoll. Stoll holds on. Squire just puts it up. Nothing there. And now they're saying timeout.
And a mistake there from Squire. Pull that basketball out, and you had 10 more seconds you could have taken off the game clock here in a two-possession game, and you could have got it down under 10 seconds. So we saw in the first half the press kind of accelerate NJIT's offense when they didn't want to. You see that there again, but in general, a really good defensive possession from NJIT in that last possession. You want to do the same here. You want to challenge but not be over-aggressive. Move your feet, close out on everything, but not too hard. The worst thing you can do is foul here.
Yes.
So you do not want to foul. You don't want to send LIU to the line. Normally, not normally, it is easier to press off of a free throw because you can choose your players who are in the front court already rather than press off a live ball. And so everything about fouling here would be a big mistake if you're NJIT. You'll probably want to go under screens because LIU hasn't been successful shooting the three that much, and you just want to stay in front of everything.
Yeah, once again, LIU 4 of 12 from three-point range, but Marini Haynes.
For Haynes, you got to think you get the ball in Nicholson's hands here. Sorry, Russell's hands.
Thomas short with that shot as Maria Fuchs calls for a timeout. That was suggested there by head coach Mike Lane, but I was going to say too, what Marini Haynes has done with LIU, and it's not easy to play back-to-back days. You normally don't see that unless you're in some sort of tournament. As we take real quickly the upcoming schedule for NJIT, they head to Central Connecticut State on Sunday, so continuing NEC conference play, even though they're not in the NEC. Then at Fairleigh Dickinson, and then next Saturday, hopefully you and I aren't too full from our Turkey Day dinners, David.
I'm bringing leftovers.
I'm going to bring some leftovers too. We'll have some for our fans. St. Peter's comes into town just from nearby Jersey City.
And we talked about for both these programs, trying to schedule these regional rivals. Manhattan College next up for LIU. Yep. And so it's a nice schedule for both these sides coming up. But for LIU, I think you're starting to see the fatigue in Rainey Haynes trying to get that early three there from Brandy Thomas to maybe help her team get a victory rather than go for a quick two, try and get the steal and push to a second overtime.
Well, if there was a player that you wanted to get to the foul line if you're NJIT, it's this one. Regardless of even what happens in this sequence, Ellyn Stoll has been perfect from the free throw line. 6 of 6, 23 points.
That's on you, Mike. That's on you. Shot 81% from the free throw line last year, and this is one of the great performances in NJIT history. The scoring show that Stoll's put on here tonight, and it's not just scoring, but against an opponent like LIU. If you look at it, she has basically scored half of her team's points tonight.
Now, just to give you an idea, Ellyn had a career best 25 points at Kennesaw State back on February 29th of 2020. Last season in New Hampshire, Ellyn had a big day, scored 19 at New Hampshire. That was a season high. So 24 points, extremely impressive. And the senior coming into tonight, averaging just 7 points per game through her first 3 games, doing what head coach Mike Lane expected out of her and to lead her team day in and day out.
Yeah, this is why she came back. She knew the potential this team has, but she's such a key cog to this side. She's able to really lead this team as a guard defensively at the front of the defense. She's clearly a veteran leader, an emotional leader as a second-year captain, and then her shooting ability, opening things up for Squire and Litwinko to drive, for the bigs to get it on the low post. She is so huge for this team.
NJIT need not to foul. Putting it up was Thomas. Litwinko gets the rebound. Foul committed. Looks like maybe by Kiara Bell.
So another attempt at that early three for LIU, but Trinity Williams, freshman, being left out there by Coach Lane, and she boxes out down low. And it might sound simple, but this LIU team has been fearless on the offensive glass. They've been relentless so far in this game, and you see a player take a quick three in a moment like that, and you have to be good about boxing out if you're NJIT, and Trinity Williams did a great job there to help Litwinko get that rebound.
Tell you, for Brandy Thomas fouling out, but what a game for her. Certainly had some nice moments. The three-point shots made, 2 of them. She made half her team's three-point shots. Lizzie Litwinko, with her second free throw attempt, able to hit it. As LIU will just roll it in here, put up a last-second shot. It's missed by Danielle Grimm, but for NJIT, they defeat LIU 59-53. They improve to 2-2 overall, whereas LIU, they drop to 0-3. Don't go away, folks. When we come back, head coach Mike Lane, Ellyn Stoll, they join us next right here on ESPN.
At NJIT, you can become a trailblazer, a visionary, or the next great leader. As a top-ranked public research university, you will be immersed in an innovative environment that promotes cutting-edge research. Classes taught by expert professors, and graduate with the technology skills needed to excel in the most in-demand careers. Your future starts here. New Jersey Institute of Technology. Are you ready to join us? At NJIT, you can become a trailblazer, a visionary, or the next great leader. As a top-ranked public research university, you will be immersed in an innovative environment that promotes cutting-edge research. Classes taught by expert professors, and graduate with the technology skills needed to excel in the most in-demand careers. Your future starts here. New Jersey Institute of Technology. Are you ready to join us?
Yeah, for sure. But they love it.
I know. Back inside the Wellness and Events Center, a thriller here in overtime as NJIT, they defeat LIU 59-53. A huge night for Ellyn Stoll, a huge night for Mike Lane in this program. And we send things over to David Goss, who is with Coach Lane and Ellyn Stoll.
Thanks so much, Mike. Coach, we'll go with the leading scorer first. Is that cool? All right, Ellyn, 24 points. And not just 24 points, which is huge anyway, but against this team and the defense they played. What was it that you were feeling tonight?
You know, it was really great coming off that Wisconsin win. We had a lot of momentum after that win. With their pressure, we were just looking to attack it, and my guards found me on the three-point line, which was really helpful and really got a lot of energy into all of our players. So just attacking their pressure really, really helped us tonight.
Congratulations. Great performance, Coach, for you and what your team was looking to do coming off that Wisconsin win. It was a tough game. It was your first time you've really been in a close game. You had to close out late. What did you see from your team?
Well, we talked in the locker room before the game that this was going to test how mature we are as a program, and that's exactly what that game was. Like, they challenged us on the glass, they challenged us with pressure, and at halftime, I said the only kid attacking was the senior, was the captain. You know, she understood what this game was. It was loud in here tonight. It was really hard to communicate. Some of those sophomores haven't played through that yet, so we had a lot of possessions in the first half that we didn't know what we were in, and it looked like it, and so I'm embarrassed by that, but we're going to have to pump up the music and practice the next 2 days. But I thought that's what a mature team does. We gutted it out. You know, we played just great defense, probably that last 18 minutes of the game. Kimmy hit the glass. Miti was hitting the glass. It was won with defense tonight, which was huge.
Congratulations on the win. Congratulations on the scoring. Mike, back to you.
All right, David, thank you so much. And once again, congratulations to head coach Mike Lane. Ellyn Stoll with 24 points, but NJIT now 2-2 on the season. LIU drops to 0-3. Well, for my partner, David Goss, for our entire ESPN Plus crew, I'm Mike Ventola, thanking you so much for tuning in as NJIT, they defeat LIU 59-53. This has been another edition of Women's College Basketball right here on ESPN.